The 1950 Formula One Championship was the first of its kind, and today's championship is entirely different from that era's competition. With the rapid technological development that happened in the automobile sector, it has gone through a number of unbelievable transformations within the last 70 years. Despite all these changes happening within the championship, 4 of the circuits used in the inaugural Formula One Championship have been able to cement their place within the current Formula One calendar as well. So the purpose of this video is to discuss about these 4 venues, including all of the 7 circuits used for the 1950 championship battle. But before we proceed, hit the subscribe button and smash the bell icon for more exciting updates. So what are these 7 venues used for the inaugural championship? You may surely know that Silverstone was included in the 1950 calendar, as it's famous as the circuit that was used for the first Formula One race in history. Other iconic tracks in the modern Formula One calendar like Monte Carlo, Spa-Francorchamps and Monza were also included in the first Formula One season. Then what are the 3 omissions? One is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway of the United States. Even though it's not used for Formula One racing currently due to its oval nature, it's still actively used for other sports categories like IndyCar and NASCAR. So the remaining 2 circuits are Bremgarten, Switzerland and Reims-Gouert, France, which are not currently used for racing. Silverstone, Great Britain. Part of an RAF airfield in Silverstone was modified to be used for racing in 1948. 2 years later, Formula One organisers decided to use this venue for the inaugural championship event in 1950. It originally only had 8 corners, but over time, the configuration was changed multiple times until it now has 18 corners. The current layout used for racing is 5.891 kilometers long, but there are several other layouts which can be used in other racing categories, delivering different challenges for the drivers. This track is currently owned by the British Racing Drivers Club, despite it being leased by the Royal Automobile Club in the initial stages. Silverstone has been able to save its identical nature as one of the fastest circuits in the F1 calendar, regardless of the changes that were introduced over the last 7 decades. Historic corners of the Grand Prix circuit, like Maggots, Beckett's and Abbey, are identified as some of the toughest corners in the racing world for any kind of racing driver. Despite any type of changes happening in the sport, Silverstone will surely remain in the Formula One calendar as the toughest. Monte Carlo, Monaco. Racing in the streets of Principality is another level of achievement for a racing driver with the historic background that it possesses. Actually, there is no permanent circuit here, and the streets of Monte Carlo City have been used for racing since 1929. Even though this was used for the first Formula One championship in 1950, Monaco was absent from the F1 calendar until 1955, but it became a permanent fixture of the F1 calendar since then. With its difficult nature to record a victory here, it became part of the Triple Crown of Motorsport, which is an unofficial achievement in motorsport. But because current Formula One cars find it challenging to overtake, there is a lot of debate about the Monte Carlo track's future. Spa-Francorchamps, Belgium. This may be the most loved circuit by racing drivers and fans as well, despite the deadly nature that it's inherited since the beginning. However, the 7-kilometer long Spa track that we see today is half the length of the original layout which was used in the inaugural Formula One Championship. With the aim of reducing the track length and improving safety concerns, the original layout was modified several times. Fast straights, sweeping corners, and unpredictable weather produce a lethal combination inside this iconic Belgium circuit. Eau Rouge and Raidillon are the most famous parts of the track due to their deadly nature that brought death to a number of drivers in different racing categories. However, drivers love to race here, as none of the other circuits are capable of offering this unique, thrilling racing experience that it possesses. Autodromo Nazionale di Monza, Italy. This is the 3rd purpose-built racetrack in the motorsport world, next to the Brooklyns of the United Kingdom and Indianapolis in the United States. Monza was built within 110 days in 1922, with the contribution of 3,500 workers, and this project was funded by the Milan Automobile Club. Compared to other historical tracks, only a few changes had been done to the original layout of this Monza track. The first change is the presence of the chicane, which was not included in the original layout. The second major change is the absence of the original final corner called Verdano before the start-finish line, and later it was replaced by the Parabolica. 5.793 kilometers long, Monza circuit is considered as one of the fastest circuits of the Formula 1 calendar, and most of the time, teams come with special upgrades for the race in Monza that suit the high-speed nature of the track. As the same as Spa, this circuit also contains some kind of lethal nature, claiming the lives of 52 drivers and 35 spectators during accidents that happened at various stages. Despite all these things, Monza has reserved a permanent place in the F1 calendar since the beginning of the Formula 1 Championship. Indianapolis Motor Speedway, United States of America. Formula 1 had a run in Indianapolis during the period between 1950 and 1960 under special technical regulations, as cars were needed to be fit for the oval nature of Indianapolis. For that reason, winners of the Indianapolis Grand Prix during that period were never able to win other Grand Prix events held in ordinary non-oval circuits. After a long absence, F1 returned to Indianapolis in 2000 and continued racing till 2008 using its infield road course. However, there is less probability to hold an F1 event again in Indianapolis, as 3 alternative locations from the US have been added to the current F1 calendar. Bremgarten, Switzerland. The Swiss circuit, which is situated closer to the city called Bern, was exclusively used for motorsport events during the pre-championship era. However, this circuit included a cobbled surface, which exacted a heavy toll on machinery. After the Le Mans disaster of 1955, which killed a driver and 80 spectators, motorsport was banned within Switzerland. Due to that reason, Bremgarten circuit was never used for Formula 1 racing after the final event held in 1954. Reims-Gouault, France. This circuit was a classic road course which ran through 3 villages, Thouars, Gouault and Mizon, creating a triangular-shaped circuit. This was a temporary race circuit built on public roads, which was a trending practice in that era. Reims-Gouault was composed of long straights that created flat-out slipstreaming battles like those at Monza. Even though this race course is not used for racing today, it was actively used during the periods between 1926 and 1972. 1966 was the last year it was used for Formula 1 racing, and we can't expect a return of this historic circuit to the modern F1 calendar. These are the 7 venues that were originally used for the first ever Formula 1 Championship in 1950. 3 of them are not in the current Formula 1 calendar, and 2 of them were totally abandoned from racing a long time ago. Currently, there is a big competition between the circuit owners and the countries to enter their circuit into the F1 calendar, as an F1 event has the capability of generating heavy profits. There are 23 races in the 2023 Formula 1 calendar, and many parties have expressed their displeasure on the stressful schedule which contains double headers and triple headers. So this is a hard process, and there should be a multi-million investment always behind a circuit to reserve its place within those 23 slots of the modern F1 calendar. What do you think about the future of Monaco in the modern F1 calendar? Will it be capable of saving its spot despite the heavy criticism against it? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel to get more exciting Formula 1 news. See you in the next video, guys. Goodbye.